Hello, my sunshine, and welcome to a new episode of the Hot Girl Morning Podcast. I am so excited and so grateful to have you here because in today's episode, we're going to reflect together on your year 2025 and also set some goals / intentions / focus for your year 2026. As I was coming up with this last episode of the year, I was actually thinking about what I would want. And I would want someone who would sit down with me and reflect on my year and help me figure out what I want to do for my next year. And this is exactly what we're about to do. So to have the best possible results, I would actually like to invite you to have some space for yourself, take pen and paper, maybe light a candle, make yourself a hot cocoa, and just sit down, put on some background music whenever I'm telling you to reflect on something, and then you can really enjoy it. Otherwise, obviously, you can also go on a walk and listen to this or drive somewhere and just think about this. But to have the best possible results, I'm inviting you to really create the space, take pen and paper, and allow yourself to reflect on this. I actually already have this planned out in my calendar where I'm going to set some time aside to really reflect and look inward. And obviously, quick disclaimer, you don't have to use a 1st of January to change something about your life. But sometimes for me, I love these dates to just take them as a reminder to look inward, to see how much happened within the last year and how much you have grown. Because sometimes we just look back a couple of months and then we think that we haven't grown. And sometimes really looking back really helps, and also looking a little bit more ahead and really thinking about where we want to be. So I hope that this episode will be helpful to you. If you don't know, my name is Greta. I'm an accountability and empowerment coach. And on this podcast, we talk about all things personal growth, mindfulness, self-love, manifesting your dreams, and becoming the best version of yourself. So if any of these topics sound interesting to you, make sure to follow this podcast, rate it 5 stars if you really enjoy it, or maybe send it to a friend who might need to hear this today. So welcome to the space, and I want to thank you so much for taking some time for yourself right now to reflect on your year and to reflect on your new year and where you want to be by the next year. Why don't we get started with taking a deep breath? Because maybe you have been running errands before, or you have been just doing a lot of tasks and we're in your head. And I feel sometimes it just needs a couple of moments for you to reconnect with yourself and to really calm down and to really feel this different energy. Because right now we're inviting in the energy of calm, the energy of gratitude, the energy of reflection. Because that's what we are about to do. So again, take a deep breath. You're safe, you're loved, you're protected, and you're going to take these next couple of minutes for yourself to reconnect with yourself and to see how life looks like for you right now and where you want to go. And our goal with this is not to be hard on ourselves and to be I wish I was there. No. Today we can just look back, feel the gratitude, see everything that has happened. Maybe we can see some signs of, okay, these are some things that I want to change and I want to have differently in my life. Then, okay, good for you. Good that you have realized that. But also it's important that we then get to look into the future and to really understand what we're craving and what we're wanting. And this episode is not about finding some surface level goal of whatever you want to achieve. This is really about looking deeper and understanding what you really want and what you're really craving and what is really the thing that is maybe currently taking away your energy. So really just embrace this energy right now with me here together. So again, take one more deep breath. And to start our reflection of the year 2025, I have realized that sometimes it is so hard when someone tells you, okay, tell me about what are the 3 things that you were most proud of this year. I don't know what happened this year. So what we're about to do before we get into everything is basically reminding ourselves what even happened this year. Because whenever I used to do these yearly reflections, I would honestly just be able to think about my past 3, maybe 4 months, and I would really honestly forget about January, February. That's such a long time ago. So what I want you to do is actually to take your phone and maybe scroll through the pictures that you have taken throughout your year. Sometimes when I'm scrolling through my pictures, I can really just understand where I have been at mindset wise, living wise, all these things in these different times of the year. If you're maybe not the type of person who has like a lot of pictures, but maybe you have been journaling, then take some time to look through your journal, like read through what you have been writing down. Just find a way for you to reflect back on, okay, what even was going on in my year. Like literally just take some time to think about that and to connect with that. Like really just scroll through your pictures. And once you are done with that, you can start to brain dump about your year 2025. Just like some highlights, lowlights, key moments, key feelings, like whatever is coming to your mind. I just want you to take that moment to just write it down. Maybe sometimes you have these really big key moments of like moving out, getting married, or breaking up with a significant other, or like if you have these things, write them down. But maybe you can also think about, like, sometimes when I look at pictures, I know exactly how I felt at that moment. So were there any realizations that you had? What were like the struggles that you have been going through? What are the areas where you have been healing parts of yourself? Just like randomly like brainstorm and brain dump everything on paper and just write things down, because that will give you a bigger picture of like how much even happened. And I don't want you to only focus like on the big obvious things, but also on the tiny moments. Maybe there's a day in this year that really spoke to you, or you were like meeting with friends and you laughed so hard that your cheeks hurt and you want to write that down, like whatever is coming to your mind. Or maybe you have baked your first bread, or you have, I don't know, discovered something new. Then just write that down. And I will guarantee you, from doing all that, you will have a much better picture of what even happened in your year 2025. Once you're done with that, I would like for you to write down in your little journal, what are your 5 biggest highlights of the year? They can be like big things that happen, but also like small things. Maybe you had a really beautiful day, or you had a really beautiful experience. Is there anything like from brain dumping that you remembered of like, okay, these are really like the highlights of my year, and they really represent the kind of life that I want to be living, how I want to feel, the like what I want to manifest in the future, what's something that like brings me energy. So just write down, or maybe think right now, okay, what are my 5 biggest highlights from this year? And once you're done with that, you can start to reflect on, okay, what were your 5 biggest challenges this year? You do not necessarily have to like exactly write down 5 things, but this is just a guide for you. You can also just write down 3, 5, or however you want, money you want. But just think about, okay, what were like the biggest challenges? And I feel like challenges, they need to be part of our world and of our life. Like that is just gonna be like that. And it's always about the question, how you're handling them and what you're learning from them. But just allow yourself to also see that right now. See all the challenges that you have been going through. Maybe you have been stressing and worrying about, maybe you have been switching a job and you are unsure about it, or like there were like some big things that were occupying your mind. So what were some bigger challenges that you have conquered this year and that came up for you? Maybe you have also been struggling mentally, or maybe someone in your family has been struggling, or a close friend. Just allow yourself to write all that down. And once you're finished, I want you to write down about your 5 biggest learnings of the year. Especially thinking about the challenges that came up, I want you to also write down, okay, what were the things that I really learned? And often the challenges are the things like where we really learn something. This can be something more practical, but it can be also something that you have learned about yourself. Maybe if you have been struggling mentally and you have done a lot of inner work, what have you realized? What did you learn about yourself? Again, whatever is coming to your mind, you can just write it down. This is not about perfection. This is just about you sitting down and letting your mind decide what's coming up. Like whatever is coming up, you can just write that down. So just write down what have been like your biggest learnings, and also feel free to let us know down in the comments, like what have you learned? Is there anything that we can learn from your experience? That could also be so helpful. So take a deep breath and know, okay, you have been doing a good job now with reflecting. And sometimes, especially reflecting about the challenges and the learnings, can bring out like some negative and just hard feelings. And I want you to know that nobody's perfect and nobody's year is perfect, and whatever came up for you is whatever needed to come up with. You're safe, you're loved, you're protected. You're safe, you are loved, and you're protected. What I want you to write down right now, what are 5 things or people or moments where you can be proud of yourself, or maybe proud of others? Like, were there any moments speaking to you where you're just like filled with pride towards yourself, your own accomplishments, the way you handled maybe a challenge, or maybe someone else in your life did something really amazing and you're just feeling so proud of them? Like, feel free to write it down, like really, really write that down. And I think one really beautiful thing that you could do even is, if you're thinking about someone else, you can send them a message and you can be like, hey, I have been reflecting right now on my year 2025 and something came up for me. And I realized that I'm so proud of you. Like, the way you handled, I don't know what, or the way you did XYZ, like, it makes me so proud to be your friend, to be your sister, to be your partner, to be whoever it is. Allow yourself to create that space of pride and gratitude. And that brings me already to the next point. 5 things that you're grateful for this year. Again, you can also like come up like with situations or moments or like things that you're grateful for within yourself, but also for other people. And if 5 things or people is not enough, then make a longer list. Feel free to do whatever feels best for you. But I wanted to really connect with that feeling of gratitude right now. And maybe you have heard or you have done that habit of like writing down 3 things that you're grateful for every single day. And I think it is a beautiful habit, but sometimes it just becomes about, yeah, I'm happy and grateful for the sun, and I'm grateful for my work, and I'm grateful for my breakfast, versus I am so incredibly grateful feeling the sun on my skin in the morning. I'm so incredibly grateful for this beautiful, nutritious food that I get to eat and that I have prepared. And I'm so, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between being grateful versus feeling grateful / like really deeply like feeling the gratitude. And right now I want you to create that space to really, really feel that gratitude towards yourself and towards the people around you and towards anyone and anything that you want to feel grateful for. Okay? Then take one more deep breath. Know that you're safe, that you're loved, and you're protected. And once you're now looking at your reflections, if you feel like you're done, then you're done. If you have any like more thoughts or you want to write a quick note, you can also do that. And I think one really, really beautiful ritual that you could do is write a short letter to the end of the year to basically say bye and be like, hey, thank you for this beautiful year. And I'm now welcoming this new energy of 2026. I'm leaving behind these challenges. I'm leaving behind these fights. But I want to thank you so much for this beautiful year. And you can do this like writing this to yourself, maybe to the universe, to your higher self, whatever it is. Sometimes I really love to kind of summarize everything that happened, to really like feel it, and to write like a quick note or a quick letter. So do that if that feels aligned with you. And then I think we can move on to setting the goals / intention / focus for the next year. And the first thing that I want to share when it comes to this, I also want to like be honest with you, and from also what my experience is, often making goals for your whole entire year do not really work, because you end up forgetting about your goals, and 1 year from now just feels too far away to really like step into action, because you just think, okay, I still have 12 months left. And after a couple of months, yes, you would have less time left, and maybe that would give you more pressure, but most likely you will have forgotten about your goal that you have set in the beginning of the year. So I'm not the biggest fan of like setting yearly goals. What I do is I set intentions for the year, and I set basically, okay, this is the energy I want to bring into the year, and this is what I would love to get back like from the year, but it is more on an energetic feeling base. And then when it comes to like breaking down the year like into different quarters, this is where I like to get a bit more into detail and to really break it down. These are the different areas of my life, and this is what I want to work towards. And especially since I have my own business, this is something that is a really key part. But to basically reflect about the whole year, I'm not really focusing on the details as much on, okay, SMART goals and all these things, because a year is too long for me. I need to break it down. So I want you to really think about what works best for you and what you want to do. But since this is my podcast, we're going to do it my way for this one. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do right now is I want you to sit down and think about your year of 2026. And I want you to think about what you want for yourself for this year. What is the energy that you're welcoming in? What is the feeling that you are welcoming in? What are some things that you're just like, okay, this is the person that I want to become. This is the direction that I want to head. This is the dream life I want to work towards. Whatever is coming to your mind is coming to your mind. But I just want to create right now the space where you can allow yourself to just think and feel it and figure out, okay, this is where I want to go. I think it's really important that we actually just did the reflection, because that can give you signs of what you want for the next year and what are some key things, energetically, feeling wise, what do you want? So I'm asking you again, what do you want for your 2026? What's the energy that you're craving? What's the feeling that you're craving? And I sometimes also really like to think about my year like a movie and to give it like a movie title, just a overarching, okay, this is the focus for my year. And you can just write down your thoughts, whatever is coming to your mind, or you can just allow yourself to think. And most likely what will happen when you're thinking about all these things, you will get kind of a sense of, okay, this is the energy that I'm craving. This is what I really need right now. I want to feel confident. I want to feel beautiful. I want to become my highest self. Is that the energy that you're feeling? Or maybe you can feel how exhausting the last year was and how much it was. And you're just feeling that you just need some peace and reconnecting with yourself, and in that way also connecting with your higher self and becoming more your higher self. So whatever it is, just really try to listen inward, pick it up. What is the focus that is really coming up for you? What is really important for you? I think honestly, when I'm sharing this with you right now, I really get the feeling of coming home to myself. This past year, I have lived in 4 different countries and 5 different places, and it was absolutely beautiful being a digital nomad and living in so many different places. But I just feel like I need to come home to myself. It is not even about the place outside, but the place within. And that is just, for example, what I'm noticing. So you notice whatever you notice, and really just allow yourself to feel that and not judge what is coming up, and not be directly, nope, that's not going to happen. I can't. No, you're going to just accept it. This is what your higher self wants you to hear right here, right now. And now thinking back to your 2025, I want you to think about what are some things that you want to keep. This could be habits, this could be rituals, action steps, but this could also be a mindset, the way you're looking at life. But also then think about, okay, what are some things from the past year that you would like to change? What are maybe some habits, some mindsets, topics, some beliefs that you have in your mind that you would like to change, that are not supporting you anymore? And just allow yourself to think about that. What are the things that I want to keep from my past year, and what are the things that I want to let go? And this is honestly such a powerful question, because sometimes it's not about reinventing the wheel. It is about looking at your life and understanding, okay, what were the things that gave you energy and what are the things that took away your energy? And if I'm looking back, especially at the last couple of weeks, I'm noticing that I have been feeling a lot of feelings, because a lot of outside circumstances were happening, and even things where I cannot change anything about it, or where I cannot decide for anyone else, and I could really feel the weight was tearing me down. And I want to allow myself to let go of these situations where I cannot change anything, because it is not doing anything good for me. Whatever is coming for a reason. So just take it and write it down. And then I want you to think about, what do you want to get better at in 2025? Is there anything that you want to learn? Maybe it is really like a skill of like, I want to learn how to make a better pizza, or I want to get better at my job, or like, yes, you can have like these things, but this can also be like mindset wise. What are some things that you're struggling with where you're just like, okay, I want to improve in this area. I want to be able to not care that much about like what people think about me. I want to let go of that. I want to allow myself to be more myself. So whatever is coming up for you is coming up for a reason. So really just think about, okay, what do you want to get better at in 2026? And whatever is coming up, I want you to take a deep breath and know that it is not about perfection, but it is about going there step by step, day by day, step by step, day by day. The next question that I have for you is, how are you going to show up for yourself? How are you going to show up for yourself and bring more spark into your life? How are you going to live a life that is more according to your higher self and to the person that you want to become? How are you going to set boundaries? Like, is there anything differently that you're going to do? And with that question, it also connects to maybe limiting beliefs that have been like tearing you down and making you small. How are you going to show up differently for yourself this year? Beautiful. Now I want you to think about life in a different way. Since you have been reflecting now on like, what's the energy you're craving? What's the life that you're craving? What do you want? Let's get a little bit more concrete. Let's break down your life into different areas that are really important to you. For example, for me, on one hand, I have my career and impact and my business. On the other hand, I have like my personal growth, my spirituality, me like working on myself, building structures for myself, me showing up for myself, healing, like all these different things. And on the other side, we also have like free time, creativity, spending time with the people that I love. Like, just try to create like different areas or bigger categories of your life, and you can sit down and reflect about them, reflect about where you are right now and where you would like to get. And this is not about changing everything all at once, because let's be honest, everything all at once doesn't work. But it's about figuring out, okay, what is my key priority right now? And this is something that I especially like to do on a quarterly basis. But sometimes it really helps to like think about it in these different like areas, and just like reflecting on, this is how I want my year 2026 to develop in this type of area. And you can just allow yourself to like break it down and help you kind of see what you really, really want. And at this point, if you want to get more into like setting goals and setting habits and all these different things, feel free to do that right here, right now, and to figure out, okay, how can I change this? If you figure out, okay, in your personal life or the way you're interacting with yourself, you want to change something, then sit down and figure out, okay, what is something that I can do that will help me get there? How can you change something about your environment to make that better? How can you create systems that will help you with creating that? Is there anything that you can set in place? And I will also link a episode down below, which is about how to create habits for the new year and something like that. I created this one, I think, a year ago, and it is really powerful, and I'm going to link it down below. But yeah, I think you have done such a great work. Obviously, this episode was not about figuring out the perfect goals and the perfect everything, but it's about a direction of, this is what you want, this is what you want to manifest, this is the type of person that you want to become. And if you really want to claim that energy, and if you really want to like, okay, I want to get deeper, I want to do more, create a vision board for yourself, write a letter to yourself, like really get into the details of it. There's so many beautiful resources out there to get even deeper when it comes to like setting goals and doing all these different things. So I really want to invite you to look into them. And also, if you want more help, or if you're really like, okay, I want to make 2026 my freaking best year, I have a workshop that is coming for you, and it will be on Thursday, January 8th at 7 p.m. Central European time. Usually these workshops / masterclasses are just for the people who are in my Supportive Bestie group, which is also for free, which you can join. Link is down below. But this one, you will just have to send me a code that I have written down below in the show notes. DM it to me on Instagram, and I will send you the link to the call. And it will be a 2-hour long call, and it will be truly about how to make 2026 your best year. And we will get a little bit deeper into like setting intentions and figuring out where you want to go and what are some action steps that you want to take. Yes, so if you're interested in that, so please just DM me. All the information will be down in the show notes, and this will be for free for anyone who wants to join, and it will be 2 hours long. Again, January 8th at 7 p.m. Central European Time. I want to thank you so much for being here and for supporting me throughout the year. And I think this is it from me from the year 2025. This is my last episode. I hope you have enjoyed this year with me, and I cannot wait for a beautiful 2026 with you. And I'm just gonna enjoy now some time off and some time with my family. So have a great time. Bye.